Now, we've talked about the differences between Eastern culture and Western culture. And one of the most, I don't know, probably one of the most fun games for me is I love playing Smash Brothers. I think Smash Brothers is super fun, whether you think it's a fighting game or a party game. I'm of the party game variety where I know that, listen, I get it. I know that the fighting game scene embraces this, and I get it, right? But for me, I like playing Smash Brothers with like all items and all the insanity that's attached to Smash Brothers. For me, I love that. I don't know. First and foremost, what about you guys? Is this a competitive thing for you guys?
Smash Bros?
Yeah.
I love Smash Bros. I've been playing this since I was a kid, like 64 to GameCube, Melee, and then the one on the Wii U, and now I have was it? I don't know what the last one's called, but it's just Smash Bros to me. Yeah, I love that fucking game.
What about you?
Yeah, I remember reading on tips and tricks. My friends was like, "Oh, this is a new game coming out on 64. It's called Smash Brothers, and you're basically fighting each other." And then the first trailer dropped with Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Pikachu just kicking each other. It was wild, man. I would consider it both.
It's definitely
it's
a
more of
fighting
a
game.
yeah, it's more of a party game. But once you're like, especially if you're playing Melee, Final Destinations, no items, then you're like, okay, you freaking lean in because you're going like 1v1ing your friends or something like that. Yeah, it's
Right.
I would say it's both.
Yes, and I think you're right. I think it's one of the few games that actually is both a party and a fighting game, right? Because there's certainly people who are ridiculously special.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's people who will fuck you up every time you play.
Right.
Yeah.
But the creator of it, Sakurai, had some pretty base takes. He said Sakurai says Japanese developers should avoid trying to appeal to Western tastes.
I agree.
Based.
Yes.
He's right.
I think they seek the uniqueness and fun of Japanese games here.
Yep.
So, Blabs, I'll let you take this and expand this out so you can read it as best as you possibly can here.
Okay, Super Smash Bros. Creator Masahiro Sakurai was recently awarded the Art Encouragement Prize from the Japanese government agencies for cultural affairs for his remarkable achievement with the Masahiro Sakurai on creating the game's YouTube channel. As part of that, he conducted an interview with NTAX, thanks Automation, in which he stressed the need for Japanese developers to focus on creating games with domestic appeal rather than trying to cater to Western tastes. When asked how Japan can keep up with booming gaming markets in regions such as China, Sakurai simply stated, "It's not really my own idea, but as an industry trend, I think Japanese people should keep pursuing the things that Japanese people like." What a revelation.
So unbelievably racist of him. It's crazy.
I 100% agree with him, yeah. He goes on to say that the success of Japanese games in the West has led many teams in the region to join a growing trend of them making Americanized works. However, he doesn't necessarily believe that Western gamers are looking for this, stating, "I think that they seek the uniqueness and fun of Japanese games," which is also true. His comment comes through as an interesting time for Silent Hill fans of all people. Although not relevant for the Switch as such, maybe the Switch 2, though, ? The recent transmission broadcast for Silent Hill F highlighted a desire to bring the series back to its Japanese roots, which series producer Motoi Okamoto stating as Silent Hill was based in the West for the longest time. It felt like the Japanese influence was fading. As such, the latest entry will be the first to take place solely in Japan. Sakurai stressed that his opinion is just one way of looking at the topic, but we think it's a pretty sound approach. We love Japanese games here at Nintendo Life because they're just so distinctly Japanese, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
If they put a black main character, I'm playing.
Yeah.
All right.
Off rip.
Well, Japanese people don't like black people. Well, that's been well established for a long time, right?
Oh.
They're scared of you.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
We're taking over your games.
We're taking over your games.
Tell you.
No, but seriously though, I think this is one of those things that we've seen with developers where they go in and they hit a new market and they go, "Oh, they really like our stuff. We should change it for them." And
yeah,
the reality is that they bought the game because of what it was, not what they want you to change it to, right? So I think it's very, very based of him to bring that out and say like, hey, like, and I joked about the idea of, he said, I think Japanese people should keep pursuing things that Japanese people like, right? If
or unless you want to become America.
What's that?
Unless you want to become America.
Right, exactly. And like, if Blabs went out and said, I think American people should keep pursuing the things that American people like, then some super lefty weirdo would be like, "You're so racist and xenophobic."
Yeah.
But but him saying, I think Japanese people should keep pursuing things Japanese people like. It's like, yeah, okay, you're right. And that's the whole idea of having an identity. Japanese people think differently than America. Like the culture is entirely different. And I don't listen, Philip. I don't want to speak for the Asian population.
I can do that. I can do that. Go ahead.
Yes. I'm sorry, Samurai Yasuke. Yes, go ahead.
No. I'll speak for the Asian population. But what do you mean to say?
Whatever you like.
Arigato.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I don't know. Phil, maybe you can speak about. I don't know. I don't want to put you in a weird spot, but maybe you can speak about the differences in culture.
Me?
Yeah.
I was about to say, I definitely can.
In terms of like Asian cultures and like in American culture, it's just like there's a reason why what's it called again? I get Pearl Studios failed, right? So Pearl Studios is a studio that the DreamWorks started with Glenn Keane, and they did it in Shanghai, and then they did a bunch of stuff for DreamWorks, and then they're like, you know what? We don't need DreamWorks. So in 2017, they made their own. They basically just separated, and they started their own studio. And then you have Nedza 2, which has made over $2 billion now in the box office. It's because they're like, we can have our own people, we can tell our own stories. We don't need American influence. And then that movie without the US has, made over $2 billion. And it's only been out for like several months, right? And it's already beat the lifetime box office earnings of The Force Awakens and Infinity War. So that's pretty huge. And when it comes to Japan, like you will never get games like Katamari or even like my favorite weird ass game. I'm not gay, by the way. Muscle March was on Wii. It's you will never get those type of games, and especially when you have like these disingenuous localization people who are like, oh, I want to change this because it doesn't make sense for our culture. It's like, and that's the reason why Japan is starting to use AI for translations and localizations.
Right.
And it's just it's okay to embrace other people's cultures. You don't have to change it to a Western standardization just because you feel uncomfortable with it.
I think, it goes back to the idea of like, I've been to Japan a couple times, and American culture is really big over there. There's a lot of girls who look at American culture and they think it's really, really great. Right. And they try to, I don't know, act American or act white or whatever, just like you see over here, where you see another culture and people try to, I don't know, act Asian or whatever. They adopt things from that culture to kind of make it their own.
I feel personally attacked.
Yeah, I was gonna attack you next.
You attacked me already. You said I'm trying to act Asian. I'm not acting Asian.
True.
I'm Asian.
My bad. Sorry. I appreciate your.
I saved Japan.
That's true. You did.
That's true. That's true.
Right. But I think this is really a great statement, and it's like, why were we in such a rush, or why was Japanese developers in such a rush to change things that were already successful to hit this new audience that the audience already liked what they were doing, so.
Well, I actually have another take too. So like over the last 5 years plus, we've seen like people go towards Japanese media, where it be anime or movies, even the games, right? And like, because why is that? Because Hollywood was so bad, right? Everything coming from America was just so shit, from the games to the like music, movies, whatever. So then they go and start looking at all the Japanese stuff, and there's a huge surplus of Japanese stuff now. Like I went to the mall for the first time in years because I don't live by a mall, and it was just a huge increase in anime. Like I've never seen it before. I'm like, wow, it's really taking over here. So it's kind of like the same thing with the gaming, where like because it's becoming so popular in America that they're trying to like maybe try and make it towards Americans, but it's not. That's not what they wanted. They want it because it's Japanese and they're really interested in it. So I'm all for it, keeping it Japanese. Go for it.
Agreed. Mm-hmm. That's why on Netflix, bro, I was like, I couldn't find nothing to watch on Netflix. I bought Netflix and started watching all the Asian shows and movies. I watched a show called Sweet Home. It was amazing. So the show Alice in Borderlands, amazing. Obviously, Squid Games went crazy. Like they have a lot of good content on there. And I used to hate like having to read subtitles and things like that. Parasite, great movie. Like they out here killing it, bro. And appealing to Americans without changing.
Love it. Great. I don't know. You guys got anything to wrap that up?
Arigato.
Yeah. Watashi wa chinchin daisuki desu.
Watashi wa, it's a song too, right?
Yeah, but don't translate that, all right? So because that's gonna be super gay. So don't translate.
Is it more gay than what you said about man, whatever it was earlier?
Muscle march?
Muscle
Yeah.
march.
Yeah. Because okay, so chin chin is basically another slang for dick.
Yes, I
Daisuke-
learned that.
And daisuke means you really love it.
So wait, what?
I learned that in Japan. It's true because I went with my friends to Japan last year, and I literally like hit our drinks together, and I was like chin chin, and a bunch of Japanese men turned around, and they were like,
You looking for chin-chin? I got chin-chin.
and my friend was, he's from Japan. One of my friends is like, no, don't do that. I'm like, why not? He's like, that means dick, and I was like, huh, okay.
Who says ching ching when they cheers though? That's weird.
Chin chin. You don't chin chin.
Never. I say cheers.
Chin chin. It's a European thing, I guess. Chin chin.
Weird.
I think it might be.
never heard
Yeah.
that before.
If you guess
I've
in like
never heard
Chinese and Japanese, we go like ganbai.
Yeah, like kampai.
Yeah,
Kampai. Boom. Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Change
Don't
to
say
American.
dick,
Change to
guy.
American.
Yeah, why don't you be American,
Yeah,
Blabs?
change it to American.
Okay.
Just say cheers like us.
Chin chin.